I get that Windows has sucked lately, but this is just straight up misinformation. Yeah, it's hard to run an executable and then wait for it to install. Oh, I wish Windows is easy to install. For those of you who don't know, installing Windows on a new PC requires a USB drive. You can use Microsoft's own Windows USB installer, or you can download the Windows 11 ISO and use a software like Rufus to make the USB drive boot to a Windows installation when it's plugged in. Linux installations work the same way, and you can even try it out first before you install the full thing. If you're installing Windows 11 using Rufus, you can bypass all the online nonsense, which is not something that you can do when you start for the first time without installing Windows. Plenty of people are victims of the dreaded Windows 11 online setup, so much so that retail employees in my area were trained in how to bypass them. And then, once you finally boot up to the OS, you must install all the drivers from the manufacturer's website. My Cyborg 15 laptop with RTX 4060 will not run with the GPU unless I install the MSI drivers. And it's not the GPU driver that's causing the problem. Then, uninstall all the programs you don't need, and then use utilities like the one by Chris Titus Tech to disable telemetry so that Microsoft doesn't spy on you. Disable all the privacy invasive features, disable all the Copilot AI nonsense, disable all the unnecessary services, and only then your Windows 11 might run okay on your low to mid-range PC. Linux is always an option, and one that you should take if you are running old PCs like this. Ah yes, since I brought up the HP T620 thin client PC again, let me tell you all what I've been using it for. A while back, I showed my HP T620 thin client mini PC that I got for about 600,000 rupiah, or 35 bucks. Seriously, a whole PC for 35 bucks. It's a crazy deal for the right people at the right price. I used it as a server for a while, but now I have the most perfect use for this thin client, and that is as a media streaming device in my living room. My wife had an old 32-inch Samsung non-smart TV. It could only receive antenna and HDMI. All I need is to connect my thin client PC to the TV with HDMI. And now I have a smart TV. Way smarter than regular smart TVs because it's just a PC running Linux, and I can configure it however I like without the typical smart TV restrictions. The HP thin client is fanless and incredibly power efficient. I can practically run this all day. In fact, it is designed to run all day. I can connect my wireless mouse and keyboard, but that's not exactly a living room TV experience. Instead, I connect my phones to the PC using KDE Connect, which lets me to not only use my phone as a remote, but also use it as a mouse and keyboard. They even have a gyro mouse control that lets me use the gyro in the phone itself to move the cursor around. Such a great app, KDE Connect. Watching movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos through this has been an absolute blast. If you have an old dumb TV and laptop or PC lying around, this is definitely worth trying. Technology is absolutely wonderful, but some people do not like the very thing that drives it forward. I don't understand why people want to go backwards with technology. I hate it when I'm opening a new tech product and I end up with a proprietary fast charge brick or cable or any extra wall warts. Bro, they're not proprietary. They are Type-C charging bricks just like any other charging bricks. You can plug in almost any phone you like as long as they use Type-C. This was an issue back in the day when phones do not have universal charging ports, but we have Type-C and USB now. Oh great, now I've got to be responsible for this e-waste. It's not an e-waste at all. This just means you have an extra phone charger. Good. Be more appreciative about it and stop complaining. Unironically, who hasn't already invested in a nice Anker multi-device charger in 2026? I do, but I don't just throw away bonuses. My Infinix Note 40S comes in with a charger, but you don't see me complain about it because I don't waste these charging bricks. I use them. It works on both my Infinix and my Samsung phones. The fact that you opted to waste them instead of just using them just shows how little care you have for hardware. It's not just that people don't like technology, they also don't like capitalism. Or at least some aspects of it, but they say it's capitalism anyway. This is such a disrespectful way to talk to artists, and surprisingly, this isn't an AI user hoopla. Hi, your marketing artists are responsible for me realizing that this world is horrible. I'm sorry, what? This is an illustration of an action RPG called Sorcerian, released back in 1987, developed by Nihon Falcom. Yes, the very same Nihon Falcom that made the Trail Saga. How can the marketing artists make you realize that the world is horrible? The game doesn't look this amazing. The game is gross looking. Well, duh. It's an action RPG side-scroller from the late 80s, and as far as action RPGs go back in the day, this actually looks pretty great, so I don't know what you were expecting. You're an idiot if you think that the game from the late 80s is gonna look this good. Not to mention, you can just literally flip back the front cover to see how the game actually looked. The art isn't lying to you. The game isn't lying to you. You're just an idiot who didn't flip the cover. This is amazing art. The game is not. Good lord, did a toddler write this? This is when I became disillusioned by capitalism as a child. What? This has nothing to do with capitalism at all. You got tricked by business, which isn't even that much of a trick to begin with. Just flip the box cover and you'll see how the game actually looks. And here you are being salty about it. You are a fool if you expect this kind of amazing graphic from a game released in the 80s. You should be using your imagination for games in this era, but you're clearly not doing a good job of that. That idiot is not the usual AI user that disrespects artists, but this one definitely is. Wow, I haven't talked about this Google Genie AI thing, have I? Thank you, Tim Pool, for kickstarting this conversation. This is nuts, right? What, Final Fantasy VII Remake? Yeah, that game is 6 years old by this point. It's so old that it even has a sequel that's 2 years old by this point. Nice of you to finally join in the conversation, Tim. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not the one thing that Tim Pool is impressed by. It's Google Genie 3, AI generating what appears to be Final Fantasy VII. I don't understand why you are impressed by this. Final Fantasy VII Remake already exists alongside the sequel. I'm not even a fan of Remake 7. The only interesting thing that it gives is an interesting Italian Senate meeting. You don't need AI to generate Final Fantasy VII Remake. You can just buy them on Steam or any other stores. You can play the full thing just fine. Not to mention, you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake at up to 4K 60 FPS depending on your PC. But with Google Genie, it only generates a 720p 24 FPS. Yes, 720p 24 FPS. The demonstration of Google Genie lead to stock prices dropping at some game companies, but not all of them. Unity and Roblox are suffering through it, but it's mostly because those companies give users the tools to make the games, rather than game makers themselves. Some game companies like EA, Take-Two, Ubisoft are dropping in stock prices, but not because of Google Genie. It's because of many other factors. Meanwhile, some game companies actually see a rise, like Capcom and Sega. Google Genie isn't gonna replace gaming or game development. It's a tech demo that looks nice. That's really all there is to it. We shouldn't get too easily influenced by this AI garbage, but we also shouldn't get easily influenced by this human garbage. These interaction baits are pathetic. I'm highlighting this one because I want people to be aware of something very important. As a man, what is your excuse for not having physics like this? First off, it's physique, not physics. Second, that kind of body type is incredibly expensive. Lots of drugs are involved in the process. Some are even illegal. And it is not healthy and practical to have that kind of body type at all. The dude has practically no fat, which you absolutely need for your body to function. Looking like that requires you to be dehydrated. There is a huge difference between looking strong and being actually strong. For most people, this shredded body does not always equal strong. So how will you get a girlfriend? Bro, there are dudes who get girlfriends without having this physique. I got married, and I'm about as average of a body type as you can get. Women like fit guys. No, not always. It's best that you don't generalize what women like. They are individuals, and trust me when I say that the women that like body types like this are not intelligent enough to realize that this body type is dangerous, expensive, and definitely not ideal to have for the average guys. No matter how unhealthy you are, at least you're not as unhealthy as this guy. There was a bizarre incident allegedly reported in Indonesia about a bus driver who was caught faking a drug test by providing his wife's urine sample rather than his own. Yes, that sounds incredibly freaking stupid, and I wouldn't be surprised that this happens in my country. I had my suspicions of this bizarre piece of news the moment I saw the words image for illustrative purposes only. In other words, this isn't really the driver that was submitting the urine test, but unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. I looked it up, and this is fake news. No Indonesian bus driver has ever faked their drug test by using his pregnant wife's urine. This does not happen in Indonesia. This did happen in Egypt. Yes, while the news is not an Indonesian one, it is definitely an Egyptian one, as a man got caught doing exactly that back in 2014, faking his drug test by using his wife's urine. Good job screwing your whole career there, driver. But then again, considering that you might be doing drugs beforehand, I don't think you are worth saving anyways. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.